Dexter Resurrection just delivered what might be the most satisfying finale in the series' franchise history. After years of disappointment following the infamous original series ending and the mixed reception of New Blood's conclusion, Episode 10, and Justice for All, has completely redeemed this legendary series. Today, we're breaking down exactly why this finale works so brilliantly, how it transforms Dexter's legacy forever, and what it means for the future of our favorite serial killer story. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe. For context, Dexter Resurrection picks up after the events of New Blood, with Dexter surviving Harrison's gunshot and awakening from a 10-week coma. The series has been a masterclass in storytelling, bringing Dexter to New York City where he infiltrates Leon Prater's twisted serial killer club while reconnecting with his son Harrison. This season has felt like the early golden years of the original series. Tight writing, genuine character development, and that perfect balance of psychological thriller and dark comedy that made us fall in love with Dexter Morgan in the first place. The writing quality has been consistently strong, with each episode building towards this incredible finale in a way that feels both inevitable and surprising. What's particularly impressive is how Resurrection has managed to honor the legacy of the original series while forging its own path. The New York setting provides fresh energy, and the serial killer club concept gave us some of the most disturbing and fascinating antagonists the franchise has ever produced. One of the most electrifying moments in the finale was seeing Brian Moser, the eye-struck killer, return to Dexter's consciousness. This callback to Season 1's best antagonist was absolutely perfect. We haven't seen Brian since that incredible Season 6 episode, Nebraska, where he represented Dexter's unleashed darkness, pushing him to abandon Harry's code entirely. Having Brian appear in Dexter's darkest moment, trapped in Prater's vault with Angel Batista's body, was a stroke of genius. The contrast between these two father figures perfectly encapsulates Dexter's internal struggle throughout the entire series. What made Brian's return so powerful was the context. Dexter is literally trapped with the corpse of one of his oldest friends, feeling genuine grief and rage for perhaps the first time in his life. In this moment of pure emotion, it makes perfect sense that Brian would emerge. The brother who never learned to control his impulses, who killed without code or conscience. The fact that Dexter ultimately rejected Brian's influence, choosing instead to honor Harry's memory and maintain his humanity, shows incredible character growth. This wasn't the same Dexter who was tempted by Brian's philosophy in Nebraska. This was a man who had learned to balance his darkness with genuine human connection. The relationship between Dexter and Harrison has been the emotional core of Resurrection. Finale delivered their best moments yet. After the rocky, tragic ending of New Blood, where Harrison shot his father, seeing them work together as a genuine team was incredibly satisfying. Harrison helped Dexter escape from Prater's vault, lying to protect his father, and ultimately assisting in taking down the real villain. This is the father-son dynamic that we've been waiting for since Harrison was born in Season 4. Who could have predicted Rita's baby would grow into Dexter's true partner in justice? The evolution of the relationship throughout the series has been expertly handled. We've seen Harrison struggle with his own dark impulses, make mistake with Ryan Foster's murder, and gradually lean to channel his darkness in more productive ways. The finale shows us a Harrison who has fully accepted both his father's nature and his own, while still maintaining the moral compass that makes him fundamentally different from Dexter. That protection twist was absolutely brilliant. When Harrison handed Dexter what we thought was a condom for his night with Gigi, revealed that it was actually a vial of M99, was both darkly humorous and perfectly in character. That's the kind of clever misdirection that makes Dexter special. It shows us exactly what kind of father Dexter is. Always prepared, always thinking 3 steps ahead, even in normal family moments. The way Harrison stepped up during the crisis, injecting Prater with the M99 and helping coordinate their escape, demonstrated that he truly became Dexter's equal, rather than his student. This isn't the confused, angry teenager from New Blood. This is a young man who understands his place in the world and is ready to embrace it. While some viewers have criticized Angel Batista's death as rushed or anticlimactic, I now believe that it served the story perfectly. David Zayas has been with the series since the very beginning, and Angel represented that last connection to Dexter's Miami life. His investigation throughout the season, tracking down the truth about the Bay Harbor Butcher, felt like a natural conclusion to a storyline that began in Season 2. What made this death so powerful was Dexter's genuine emotional response. Despite being a diagnosed psychopath, Dexter's grief over Angel's murder felt completely authentic. The way Mitchell C. Hall played Dexter's scream of anguish when he found Angel's body was raw and heartbreaking. This demonstrates the incredible character growth we've seen throughout Resurrection. Dexter has genuinely evolved to feel real emotions for the people he cares about. Angel's death also served the larger narrative perfectly. His investigation into the Bay Harbor Butcher case and his growing suspicions about Dexter had been building all season. The way he pieced together Harrison's involvement in Ryan Foster's murder, connected it to Dexter's past, and then tracked them both to New York showed the same dogged determination that made him such a good cop throughout the original series. I know a lot of you disagreed with my video talking about Batista's disappointing death, but I think this made up for it. The respect Dexter showed Angel's body, covering him with a blanket and promising he would rest in peace, felt like genuine remorse. This isn't the cold, calculating Dexter who disposed of his victims without a second thought. This is a man who truly understands loss and feels responsible for yet another death of someone he cared about. Prater was everything a Dexter villain should be: intelligent, manipulative, and absolutely terrifying in his calm demeanor. Peter Dinklage brought incredible menace to this billionaire who collected serial killers like trophies. What made Peter so effective as an antagonist was how he represented a dark mirror of Dexter himself. Like Dexter, Prater had experienced childhood trauma that shaped his adult obsessions: the loss of his parents in that car accident, his relationship with their killer, and his subsequent fascination with death and violence. It all created a character who understood Dexter in ways that most people couldn't. But where Dexter channeled his darkness into a twisted form of justice, Prater used his trauma to justify exploitation and voyeurism. Serial killer dinner parties were some of the most chilling scenes in the entire franchise. Watching these monsters casually discuss their methods, share stories, and treat murder like a hobby was deeply unsettling. Prater's role as the gracious host facilitating these gatherings while collecting their trophies made him perhaps the most disturbing villain Dexter has ever faced. Watching Prater's death scene was pure amazing. Statistical maniac who built himself from nothing into a position of ultimate power, only to be reduced to begging and crying as Dexter took him apart, both literally and figuratively. The transformation from confident puppet master to terrified victim was perfectly executed. The fact that Dexter chose not to take a blood slide from Prater was the perfect final insult. Dexter essentially told him, "You're not worth remembering," which for someone as narcissistic as Prater was the ultimate psychological destruction before the physical end. It was honestly great, but it doesn't come close to what Dexter's next action did for the plot in future seasons. First, remember to subscribe. Dexter setting off the alarm to reveal Prater's serial killer museum to the entire NYPD was a stroke of genius. After seasons of Dexter operating in shadows, his work indirectly exposed, in a way that actually helps law enforcement, felt like perfect poetic justice. The vault itself was a masterpiece of production design. Seeing all those preserved victims, the trophies from famous serial killers, and the elaborate setup that Prater had created was deeply disturbing, but visually stunning. It represented years of Prater's obsession made manifest, and its discovery will reshape how law enforcement approaches cold cases involving serial killers. For Detective Claudette Wallace, who had been haunted by the New York Ripper case throughout the season, finally discovering the truth about these unsolved murders provides real closure to her character arc. The vault contains evidence from dozens of serial killers, opens up massive possibilities for future storylines. Each trophy, each file, each preserved victim represents a case that can finally be solved. Most importantly, the fact that only the Bay Harbor Butcher's blood slide box was taken from the vault will essentially confirm Angel Batista's theory that the Bay Harbor Butcher is still active. This sets up incredible dramatic potential for future seasons, as law enforcement will finally understand that Dexter Morgan is alive and operating in New York. The revelation of Don Frampt as the New York Ripper also provides closure to one of the season's ongoing mysteries while opening up new possibilities. Having the Ripper's identity finally revealed, along with all the evidence in Prater's possession, gives law enforcement the biggest breakthrough in serial killer cases in decades. The final scene with Dexter on The Getaway was masterfully executed. The direct callback to Season 4's devastating finale, where Dexter returned home to find Rita murdered in the bathtub, created this incredible tension that was both nostalgic and nerve-wracking. The boat's name itself was a perfect reference to that Season 4 finale, The Getaway, which remains one of the most shocking episodes in television history. Seeing Dexter on a boat again, looking contemplative and at peace, immediately brought back memories of that tragic discovery. For a moment, it seemed like we might be heading towards another tragic twist. Parallels were so strong that I feared that Harrison might have been killed by Charlie or some other threat. The way that the scene was shot, with Dexter's calm demeanor and the peaceful water, felt like the calm before another storm. The fact that nothing tragic happened, that this was simply Dexter reflecting on his life and future, was somehow more powerful than any shocking revelation could have been. It showed us Dexter, who's finally at peace with who he is, surrounded by evidence of other serial killers he can hunt, with his son by his side and a chance at a real relationship. One of the strongest aspects of this finale was seeing how far Harrison has grown as a character. From the traumatized teenager who shot his father in New Blood to the confident young man working alongside him in the finale, Harrison's growth has been remarkable. His decision to pursue criminal justice, inspired by both his grandfather Harry and his aunt Deborah's legacies, showed that he's found a way to channel his sense of justice into something positive. The college visit with Dexter felt like a genuine father-son bonding moment, something that seemed impossible after the events of New Blood. Harrison's relationship with Elsa Rivera and her son Dante has also shown the capacity for normal human connections. Unlike his father, Harrison seems capable of maintaining relationships without the elaborate emotional mask that Dexter requires. This suggests that while he may inherited Dexter's dark passenger, he also inherited a more complete emotional range. Beyond the compelling narrative, the finale delivered on a technical level as well. The vault scenes were masterfully shot, with claustrophobic cinematography that captured Dexter's desperation, while Prater's underground museum struck the perfect balance between beautiful and deeply disturbing. Michael C. Hall's performance was exceptional, particularly his emotional response to Angel's death, proving that he can still find new depths in this character after 2 decades. Jack Alcott also has matured significantly as Harrison, creating genuine father-son chemistry with Hall. What makes Injustice for All so effective is how it provides satisfying resolutions while setting up future possibilities. Wallace solves her defining case, Harrison and Dexter achieve the relationship they needed, and the serial killer network gets exposed. Most importantly, it respects the franchise's legacy while building something new. The setup for future seasons is genuinely exciting. With Prater's vault exposed, law enforcement will intensify their hunt for the Bay Harbor Butcher. Dexter now has access to files on serial killers worldwide, while his partnership with Harrison represents uncharted territory for the franchise. The international scope Prater's network implies could take the series anywhere. Justice for All represents everything a season finale should be: emotionally satisfying, narratively complete, and full of future potential. It redeems not just Resurrection, but the entire franchise's legacy. After 20 years, we finally have an ending that honors what made this series so special while launching an exciting new chapter. The finale proves that the franchise can still tell compelling stories while successfully answering whether Dexter can maintain both his dark passenger and genuine human connections. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.